Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how we can animate this amazing carousel here in Figma. Now, this video is specifically for the animation purposes, so I'm going to teach you how to learn this animation. So as you can see, this web design here, we're not going to go into details on how I created it. However, we're just going to focus on the animation part. That being said, I want to go over several things. Obviously the prototyping, but also how to just put together all the elements so that we can have a smooth transition between each section. And I also want to show you how to create this rotation effect for the wine bottles using, the labels. So we're gonna just try to have this 3D effect while rotating the label. So this will involve some masking. That being said, I'm excited to jump in. So without further ado, let's go ahead and show you the design. So as you can see, this is the design itself, and we have three sections, as you can notice. So what we're gonna do is we wanna rotate between each section and the other while having the bottle spin, and we also wanna add some nice details, like animations for the elements. For example, here, as you can see, we have two layers. I wanna do like a nice parallax effect where the motion of the grass, for example, here, and the background image, we just go down, and then we can see the other one coming in. It's like another scene, and you can see also the clouds here, they change, so I want them to fade in and out. That would also look pretty nice. So yeah, without further ado, I want to start with the first one, which is the label animation and the 3D spinning effect. Before we move on, I want to show you the final result. So this is what we're going to be doing. So we're going to add the first section so we can see the bottle spinning around. So this is the first bottle, then the transition to the second one, and then the third one. Okay, so let's go back here and start. First of all, I want to hide this thing here because I want to be able to see the bottle fully. And so once I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the pen tool. We want to add a layer. This is the mask layer. And then we're going to put the label on top of it. We're going to create a mask basically the mask is going to contain the layer, this one that we're creating now, and the label itself. We're going to mask them together. And after that, I'm going to be proceeding with the animation. So now we are just going to draw like around the bottle, and we don't have to recreate it. We just, because the label itself will be basically around here, here, and here. So we don't have to outline the whole thing. So this should be enough for us, and we're gonna just draw like so. Okay, and just try to be accurate with it because it will matter. So just try to be as much as accurate as possible. That's gonna help you in having this more realistic feel. So there we go, that should be enough. Go here. So just for the tutorial purposes, I won't be as detailed now, but it is pretty much gonna look fine, just fine. But there we have it. Now, once we do that, we're gonna remove the stroke here. We're gonna remove the stroke, and we're gonna add a fill color to it. And so this is where the label is gonna be, so somewhere around here. So we're just gonna go ahead now, copy our first label. By the way, these are the labels right here. I put them here, and I will leave the file, this Figma file, in the description. You can, grab it yourself if you want to see how everything is done. So right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna paste this label on top of this vector that we have just drawn, and I want to position it right around here, and move it. Okay, so that is good. And then we're gonna select both of them, and then press Ctrl Alt M, or we can just right click on use as mask. This will turn both of them into a mask. We're gonna select the mask, and first thing we want to do is change here the blending mode to, I'm gonna change it to lighten. There we go. All right, this looks not too bad, right? Now another thing I notice is the wine bottle itself is not too blend in with the background, so I want to fix that. So what I want to do real quick is I want to try to change the blending mode to something different, like luminosity is good. For example, as you can see here, look, the colors, the wine bottle itself, the colors are kind of now blend in with the background. You can see the clouds here, the red color for just like the clouds, and it looks pretty good, right? So this is good. Also, you can see some shadows of the land here, the land. We can see it on the bottle itself, which also gives us this nice realistic illusion that the bottle is in fact in the scene. So now what I want to do is I want to just put in this, I want to unhide this front image, and I want to move on and do the same thing essentially for the other bottles. So I want to do that and get back to you. Okay, so now as you can see, I've done that for the rest. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next animations I want to do. First of all, as you've seen in the beginning of the video, I showed you the animation. I put another section in the beginning where the first bottle will show up, right? And I wanted to kind of have this, you know, like angle where you can see the camera. It's like a camera that moves down and then you can see the full bottle. So what I've done is I basically decreased the position, the y-axis of the land here. It's like the camera was aiming at the sky a little bit more, and then you can see the leaves. Then basically from the first to the second section, you can see the leaves, they come up. It's like the camera is basically, you know, facing downwards until you can see the bottle fully. I hope that makes sense. We can go ahead and apply it just now. So first of all, now we're gonna duplicate this frame. And by the way, the prototyping things, so the animation, might sound a little bit complicated for some of you guys here, but as you start to apply it more and more, it's gonna be pretty easy, pretty seamless and smooth for you guys. So let's go ahead and now duplicate this. And what I wanna do is I wanna move this bottle, since both of these elements right here have the same names in both of those frames, and that's pretty important, so that Figma will match both of these elements together as one, as you will see right now. So now if I decrease, for example, the wine bottle here, I'll decrease the y-axis, the position of it downwards. So let me select both of them with the mask group, and I also want to move the mask group downwards, put it next to the wine here. I'm gonna select both of them here in the layers panel, and I'm gonna bring them down. Okay. Now another thing you can do is, because now we can't see it, right? What we can do is we can unclip the content by selecting the frame here. We'll unclip it. Now you can see everything outside the frame, not shown within what we have. And so I can just select the label itself, and then we can just, for example, turn it around, as you can see. Now, I also want to decrease the position of the leaves that we have, so let's do that really quick. And lastly, I'm going to select the background image. I'm going to decrease its y-axis as well, just a bit, just like so. Another thing we can do is this text marquee here that we have, right? This is like just like a seamless kind of graphics that I put just to make the design a little bit more like pop out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it to the left side, and then it's basically, once I apply the prototype settings, it will just like slide in, smart animate, and slide into its position in the second frame. So let's clip everything back, and I want to show you how we can link both of these so that we can have a smooth transition while using a Bezier. So let's go to the prototype tab now, and we're gonna make sure to link. So let me delete the previous node connection that we have here, and let's link the first section to the second, and the trigger will be on click. So you just click anywhere in the keyboard to trigger this animation. Then we're gonna change the animation here to smart animate. The duration, I'm gonna set it to 2800. The curve, I'll set it to custom Bezier. And this is where you smoothen out the animation, the transition. You can play around with it to check how you want it to look like. For me, I'm just gonna set it to what I usually set it to, and I feel like this works for most of the animations that I want to do. And so now let's go ahead and just by selecting the first section, I can create on the preview window so that I can open the prototype. And then let's wait for it to load and see what we got here. So alright, that just, it's lagging because it's loading, but as you can see now, that looks nice, that looks clean. We can also move the text content to the right side. that will make it even look nicer, you know, but whatever, you can play around with it and change everything that you want to change. Now, without further ado, I want to move on to the second and the third sections animation. So let's see how we can do that. How can we have a smooth transition here? So essentially the first bottle, I wanted to move to the right side like it's leaving, and then I also want to have the background images, so this one and the land, they will just go downwards, and the other ones, so the leaves, will go upwards. And I want to make it like a nice parallax effect. And I also want to do another thing, which is for the text here, I put them in an auto layout frame with the button itself. So now, for example, what I can do is say I want to move this text outside this frame. So what I want to do is I can mask it. Say I move it to the right, as you can see, it's not going to be visible anymore. And so because I have different texts for each section that I want to change depending on, you know, the context and whatever, so that it is unique, the section is unique. And so yeah, so what I want to do is I want to do a nice animation for the text as well. So that would be everything when it comes to the animations. I'm going to select the first section, and we're going to start off by copying the elements I want to put in the second section, want to animate. So for example, here, the bottle itself, the wine, and also make sure to select the mask group. I also want to move this down next to here. So I'm going to select both of them, and I'm going to paste them here. Now, as I've said, this one will be leaving, it's going to be moving out of frame to the right side. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put it outside the frame to the right side until we can't see it anymore. And we can also unclip the content and turn the label around so that we can have this 3D illusion, spinning illusion, right? And we want it to move basically to this side, right? Because it's spinning to the right side. Okay, so that should be good. Now we're gonna do the same thing for this bottle. So I'm gonna select them both, and I'm gonna basically paste them here, and we're gonna move it to the left side. Alright, so one thing I've noticed is the layers, and so usually you can move the layers here in the layer panel and play around with them so that you can basically position them on top of some other layers. Because I've noticed here, for example, you can see this bottle, it's below the land, and I want it to be just right next to the first bottle. So I'm gonna select both of them and put them right there and below the leaves here that we have. So that looks good. Now we can move it. All right, and let's select the whole section itself. I wanna unclip that again, and I wanna select the label now, and let's turn it to the left side. So just like so. All right, we can clip that again. Now let's move on. So now I want to move on to basically just, this one, we've pasted it right here, this one right here. So we should be good to go when it comes to the bottle. I want to move on to the other contents that we have. So let's animate, let's start with the imagery that we have in the background, right? So here, the leaf and the land. So we want to select both of them. So I want to select them both. And what I want to do is copy and paste them again to the second section that we have. So let's do that really quick. And paste them right here. Now, I also want to make sure to position the layers basically behind. So the first one, the land, will be behind the bottle. This leaf will be, in front of it. So we can position it by holding Control, and you have the brackets. So the back bracket will bring it down just one by one. And if you just hit the bracket without the Control, what's going to happen is you're going to basically put it behind all the layers. So just Control and select the downwards bracket basically to drag it down. You're going to select the left bracket, the right bracket is going to drag it above the other layers, so one by one. Right, so now we're going to drag it right where it should be. So I guess that is good. So right here. And then the second leaf, this one, we are going to, basically put it right there. And that should be good. Now we're going to drag it down here. So we can hold the shift and the downwards arrow, and that will just bring it down. So that will bring the y-axis down, right? and we can also move it with our mouse. Now you can't really see it, but it's right here now. And let's select the second one, which is going to be the land. I called it back image 1, and we're also gonna drag it until we can't see it anymore, right? Now, let's select the front image 2. I call them front image 2, back image 2, right, just to know. So the front image 2, and then we have the back image 2. We'll select them and also paste them right here in the first section. And basically here, they will also be out of view, right? Because we want them to come upwards until they're visible from the first to the second section, but here in the first section they're not visible. Basically what that means is they're gonna be down right here, and then they're gonna go up while switching to the second section. It's as simple as that. Now let's see what we have left here. So we have the text, as I've told you. So what I want to do is I want to copy this text right here, and I want to paste it in this auto layout frame. So I just pasted it right here. Let's move it to the left side. And now I'm gonna copy this text, so the first section text, and I want to paste it in the second section text, and I want to just move it to the right side. That way, when I play when I play the prototype, you will see when I switch from the first to the second section, you will see the text, the first text going to the right side, the second one will come from the left side, and that will look pretty good. So yeah, that is pretty much, I think that is good for the text. And now let's move on to the text marquee in the background. So what I want to do is I want to copy this one, and this one's I'm gonna put it right here, and I'm gonna move it to the left side. And I'm also gonna play with the layer positioning here. I want to put it somewhere next to this text, first section text, as you can see. And I also want to copy this text, so the first section text, and paste it right here and make it go to the right side so that it's leaving. That looks good to me. Now, another thing is the background. As you can see now, the background here, it is pretty much, changing, right? Usually when we have Smart Animate, which is basically the most used animation in Figma, so when you just have an element and a different element, and then you have this element only on one frame and the second element is only in the second frame, you will see the first element fading out, the second one will fade in. And so this is what's gonna happen for the background image. So let me show you what I mean by this. So as you can see, if I play the prototype, the animation, so the background will just fade out and then fade in. Yeah. So that looks good to me. So one last thing I want to do is I want to play around with the positioning of the layer for my first text, because I didn't drag it down here. So I'll put it right there. All right, so that looks good. So I just want to play back the animation. I want to show you guys what we have here. So this is the first section animation. You can see also it's rotating, giving the 3D spin illusion. Then this is the second one. All right, guys, that looks pretty good. So there's just one thing I feel like we want to do. All right, so I just want to position, I want to change the leaves position in the second section and put it in front of the first bottle. All right, and this is our front image one. All right, so where do we have it here? Okay, and I'm just gonna put it right there. Okay, so now let's play and see what we have. So that should be basically our animation, and we still have the last section, but it's gonna be pretty much the same as what we've just done for the first and the second section. So that being said, I'm gonna end the tutorial here. Alright, so that was how to create this amazing animation in Figma. Now, if you have any other recommendations regarding any video, I'm here to help. So maybe you can drop this recommendation down below. I can help you with your web design journey. And also, if you're a client looking to build your own website, we're an agency and we have a booking system that you can schedule a call with us. Through this call, we can discuss any further work together. That being said, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.